Disclaimer: this story mentions self-harm. If you or anyone else is struggling or is sensitive to the topic, please click out and watch some of the other creepypastas I have listed on the channel. If not, then sit back and enjoy. My buddy Josh always maintained that hell is full of ads. He hated ads with an absolute passion, regarding them as the main symptom of everything that's wrong with the modern world. Fucking peak capitalism, making the elite ever richer, while people like himself slaved in a series of dead-end jobs. Not that he'd really helped his own, cause too much when he dropped out of school. I mean, he was really quiet, bright, and intelligent and all, but just generally unmotivated and depressed or something. He came from a broken home, struggled with substance abuse, and he had a few run-ins with the law, etc. In fact, not to put too fine a point on it, he was kind of a living cliche. And he'd also loved music. He was pretty good at the guitar and stuff, but again, not driven enough to try and perfect his art or form a band or anything like that. But he listened to music all the time. It was more of a private refuge for him more than anything. So he had all those playlists that seemingly went on forever, on YouTube mainly. In fact, exclusively. He couldn't bother with Spotify and shit like that. YouTube had it all as far as he was concerned. In spite of its millions upon millions of ads, he shared those playlists regularly with me because we both liked the same music. He'd fallen out with heaps of other people over the years because of their changing musical taste. But he found in me a steadfast, loyal sort of music fan. For that reason alone, he stuck with me like a blur. And all I have to say, I did like him too. He wasn't a bad sort overall. And yet, in spite of his overwhelming love of music and undying hatred for ads, he couldn't and wouldn't use an ad blocker or YouTube Premium, or take any steps at all to counteract them. And it wouldn't been too difficult to put some of his hard-earned money towards YouTube Premium. Along with his other indulgence, he was kind of a contracty like that. Maybe he just wanted something else to complain about. In any case, far as I knew, he went on surfing through vials, soul-sucking ads interrupting his music, his playlist, until one day, we would meet up once again, once a week at least, at our local dairy bar, just like the two of us. On our last meeting, he seemed preoccupied. "I've come to the decision, Zach," he announced finally, pushing away his glass without having even tried to taste what was in it. "An important decision." His dark eyes fixed on me, and I waited for the big reveal. Had he finally decided to clean up? Or make a proper go of it for Stacy? The stunning blonde whom he'd met at the party just a couple weeks ago, or make up with his arranged family, what remained of it, or what? I've decided to take out YouTube Premium. I was quite staggered by this. What? Yeah, I finally decided. I can't let those fucking ads spoil everything, not even more. He lowered his voice. "I can't risk it." That seemed rather an odd thing to say. He must have seen my astonishment, but he just smiled cryptically. "I feel better now. I finally decided," he declared. "Well, that's good, I guess. I'm just surprised you didn't decide to do it long before this, dude. He looked at me thoughtfully. Yeah, so am I. I didn't see him for days after that, which wasn't unusual. Actually, he kept on sending me playlists as usual. They seemed to be getting more and more extravagant too. And then he kept on asking which one he thought was the best. He had never done that before. He was really quite insistent about it. And all of this, combined with the oddness of his manner on our last meeting, made me increasingly uneasy. A week after our meeting, he texted to say he couldn't make it this time. But he didn't fail to send me another playlist with a message. This is it, Zach. Thanks for all your help. He never used my name in messages like that normally, and this made me even more worried. I tried texting back, calling, and I would have gone around to his apartment if my goddamn boss hadn't dumped an extra workload on me for the whole weekend. But all the time, I was getting increasingly concerned about Josh. But finally, on the Sunday evening, I got a word about him. He'd killed himself. Apparently only hours after sending me that final playlist in his apartment, with some dubious substance in his system and a deep vertical gash in one wrist. I'd be lying if I said I was surprised to hear this. Shocked and grieved, yes, but not really surprised. He'd never really talked about that stuff, but I never found it too hard to imagine him checking out on his own terms. But when I learned more details about the whole sad case, I felt something very, very odd, like horror. There had been a YouTube playlist on his phone, which was found right beside his body, the last playlist he shared with me. Music to commit suicide to accompany you into the great beyond. Hell, perhaps, where ads played forever, according to his conception. I pushed away that blackly comic thought, but then I felt chills all over my body. That was why he'd taken out YouTube Premium at the last. I remember the words he used that had stuck with me as so odd at a time. I can't risk it. You couldn't risk some fuck up ad interrupting the climacal moment, his ride into eternity. This was some messed up shit, although another way of looking at it was he died doing something he'd loved, but it was kind of hard to do that. I just felt cold, endlessly cold, and I also knew it wasn't over. I've been feeling very much out of it sorts of day. Kind of drowsy and all, and my wrist is aching, my left wrist. I can't remember having sprained it or anything though. I've just received a link to a playlist from Josh's phone with a message. You gotta listen to this, Jack. For old time's sake. We can listen to it together, just like we used to. But Josh is dead, right? I'm feeling worse all the time. I can't think straight. I've got an absolute fucker of a headache, and my wrist is hurting worse than ever. Maybe I'll just listen to some music to make me feel better.